And we're back with more Breath of Fire 3. So, we've got our destination, but before we do that, I decided yesterday to spend 3 hours fishing up what I needed to obtain the items that should change the rest of the game. First up is the Royal Sword. So, I was able to buy Commandant's best materials and best armor already. But then I was able to get the Royal Sword for Ryu. So it's his best sword that you can, well, find, I guess. There's one near the end of the game, which is really hard to get, but you can get somehow. You also get this, the Life Armor. So it regenerates 1 HP per turn, but the real benefits are its defensive value, which is higher than any armor, and the fact that as you take a step in the overworld, it automatically heals you. So, why bother getting the Cupid's Lyre as an accessory when you have that in an armor? Unfortunately, Momo does not get that benefit, but Rei does. So, Rei and Ryu benefited tremendously from this, but Momo can still handle herself pretty well in the defensive category, so we should be good. But anyway, also check note of our money situation. That really helped. But now we go to Dragnir. And take note of this song, it's amazing. For the dragons. What the? What did you just leave that building? What's this? Everyone! We must celebrate! Please, be at ease. I'm Griot, the patriarch of this village. All of us here are the same as you. We are all brood. Master Ryu. Don't be alarmed, Guardian. We gave up our powers and fled here during the Great War. So, this is not to be found by us Guardians? Exactly. All in preparation for this moment. This moment? What do you mean? You will know soon enough. But for now, please rest and be at ease. O Dragon Prince and noble companions. Please eat this. This meat will restore the strength sapped by the desert's heat. We've been awaiting your coming, Prince of Dragons. It's been foretold for many generations. After our defeat by our enemies, they tried to wipe us from the face of the earth. To survive, our people either had to give up their power like we have, or bury themselves deep, deep underground. Our brethren who hid underground, many of them entered a deep sleep after conceiving a child. They slept to await the time when one of the brood might walk the earth again. And now, that day has arrived. The prince will soon awaken. So take note of the mural on the wall. That is known as Ladon, the final master. If you go with him, he takes away a lot of your HP and AP in exchange for higher stats, but he gives you a skill such as Aura. So it's an interesting trade-off. You have come here to the forgotten city of Dragnir. Call it destiny if you will, but we can tell where to find what it is you're seeking. Where to find your foe, the goddess Myria. You must awaken to your true power, and then you must face the goddess. Are you awake? You fell asleep after the banquet. If you're looking for your companions, they're all outside. So yes. Myria. The same final boss from Breath of Fire 1 has been reincarnated. If you recall the first episode, when Ryu was asleep, he had a dream of a woman in pink and pale wings. Dace referred to her as sister. So all the pieces are now in place. That being said, if you're wondering what this Myria is like, is she the same one? No. The original game was, how do I put this, very basic in its presentation, and I don't think Myria was given much. And, to suffice it to say, consider this more of like a Legend of Zelda type situation. The Myria we face now is the same Myria. But what she's motivated by, which we don't know yet, is, way, way, way different. That's all I'm going to say. Look who's awake! The brood are pretty amazing. Who would have thought they were still alive, living in a forsaken place like this? I wonder what Gar feels right. I don't know. I mean, being in a city surrounded by people who used to be his enemies? I mean, he's over there looking depressed if you want to talk to him. Let's try to cheer him up. But yes, this is Dragnir, the final city. Or at least, the final city that we know of. Are you in need of anything? So this is, this would be his best stuff, but let that be a lesson to how good the walk or the life armor is. 22 points of defense. And the Royal Sword is 55 points better than the Damascus Sword. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. But yes, we'll talk about Myria way more. She's, the word interesting is the way I would describe it without giving too much away. I mean, I can pretty much tell you she's the final boss. I mean, that's obvious as fuck. So I'm not spoiling anything. But I'm not gonna say much else. Look, Ryu, isn't it cute? It's called a Rakta. It's called a camel. And Griol over there is just kind of making sure we don't leave and wuss out, which I don't think we would at this point, but still. Even if they have forgotten the war, I'm still the sworn enemy of every person in this village. All the people here, they're suspicious of the fact that you have brought me here with you. I've come with you on this trip because I've lost my faith and come to doubt my own actions from so long ago. But I know that's not a good enough reason for all the men and women of this village to trust me. The war is not ended in the hearts and minds of these people. Well, I mean, I guess, but what are you getting all gloomy for? Okay, so maybe the people here want Ryu to take his power and teach your god a thing or two. And maybe it's not so realistic to think we can even drop in on God and learn the truth. But still, you're the one who told us to tag along in the first place. You know what? You just think too much, you know? Anyway, it doesn't matter what the villagers here think. What's important is what Ryu thinks. Am I wrong? What does Ryu think? I don't know, game! It'd be kinda nice to know what he thinks. But I don't know! Anyway, the Elder wishes to meet with you. He's the eldest of us all. Of all the brood. Only he remembers the Great War. Go to the well in the village center. The Elder awaits you inside. Underground. Interesting choice to have Gar in first. But yes, lots and lots and lots and lots of things that we can do to save us a potential trip. There's actually a certain group we need for this section. We've got a fairy village thing here. Now, bear with me on this. This is actually something the game forces on you. Not that I wanted it, as you can see. But anyway. The only other thing. So if you're curious, Dragnir is actually behind that mountain that was separating Commandant and this. This is known as the Factory. And beyond it, well, this giant steel wall separates the land of the living from the desert of death. And yeah, we gotta go there. We've gotta go to the desert of death, and I know full well what that's gonna cause me, and it's gonna be a bunch of annoyance. But before we do any of that, so yes, this is loosely connected to Breath of Fire 1 and Breath of Fire 2. In Breath of Fire 2, it was more Miria's spawn or brood, I guess, that became Death Heaven, which was the final boss, but it was loosely connected. This, in a way, as you can see, that is Miria from the first game. So they did as much as they could. I'm trying to remember. I could definitely tell Nina and Ryu apart. I think other characters are in there as well, but I'll give you a chance to look at it. This is from the beginning of the game, by the way. So, my familiarity with Breath of Fire 1 is very limited, by the way, as I keep stating, but that is what Miria looked like. There is no doubt about that. In fact, that enveloped field before she transformed into the final boss proper, that's exactly what she looked like. In this game, not so much. Again, I'm trying to build up and hype up Miria because she deserves it, but without giving it all away. Because one of the actual amazing things about this game is how Miria is presented. So, you spend all this time, and this is actually something that the game does well, is it didn't just outright tell you who she was. She didn't... They showed her... They referenced her by name as a god or a goddess a bunch, but they don't just name drop her until it matters. But everything in the game, at least from when Gar tries to attack you in Angel Tower to this point, has been all about where the hell is this god? Where do we find her? And we've done all this stuff. And now that we're maybe 2 or 3 areas away, well, guess what? The answers are coming into place. And that's the sort of build-up that is important. You've come. Welcome. I am the Elder Jono. Don't let my looks fool you. I'm a nice guy. Come here, my son. My son, did you see the mural as you came in? That is the history of our people's struggle. Our people's history stretches back into the distant past. It is a history of a struggle against a great recurring evil. With each age, a warrior appears among the brood, and with his allies, he carries on the struggle. Against an evil that appears as a mortal, sometimes a devil, evil, named Miria. The god of the Urkins, the god you are seeking. And of course, it seems that the Urkins never refer to their god or their enemy by name. Speaking of Urkins, I want to talk to your friend, the Guardian. Bring him here. Guardian. I have to hand it to you, Urkins, and to Miria. When you decided to get rid of us, you didn't hold back at all, did you? But you must realize one truth. As long as you refuse to speak your god's name, or the name of your enemy, no one will ever know what became of us, or why. Oh, Elder, do you hate us? Hate? There may be some of us who do, but I do not. One cannot allow himself to be blinded by hatred or spill blood for a petty reason. What happened between the Urkin and the Brood was fate. Fate? What do you mean? Please tell me. Ah! Stop calling me that. You're every bit as old as I am. I've had enough of talking to you. From now on, the only thing I want to see is a pretty girl. Understand? I've made up my mind. I'm only going to talk to the women. So he's being a perv. So yeah, if you bring Momo, he basically chastises you, and it's like, you're an idiot. And Momo's not ugly, it's just Nina is better looking. That's better. Now listen, lady. I'm going to tell you about the fate of the brood and the goddess Miria. I'm listening, Grandpa. What? That's more like it. Good girl. Now listen close. The brood and Miria have always fought. Down through the ages, and all across the world. Is it because she's trying to destroy the world, and the brood were trying to protect it? It's not exactly that simple. Think about it. That would mean the world wouldn't be here after we lost the Great Now, would it? Besides, the real danger in the world might be us, brood. Our power is such that we could destroy the world, and the goddess feared that strength and decided to destroy us. But, so does that mean Ryu is an evil dragon? No. Don't get ahead of yourself. We lost the war because we didn't use our power. If we'd fought back with all our power, we might have indeed destroyed the world. So you mean the brood were concerned with the fate of the world? They're not evil? Well, that's not exactly right either. I want to tell you something important, so I want you to come up next to me. Will you do that? Like this? That's it. Now kneel down and give me a kiss. What? Right. Okay. Well, I got my kiss. I have no regrets. Stupid old man. It's time for me to do what I must. Ryu, come here. So this game is basically telling you you're gonna need your party members. But yes. What Jono is saying is accurate. I think everybody's trying to jump to conclusions as to what Miria's intentions are. But the only thing he said that actually makes sense is that she feared power, and it was against the potential of the world destroying itself. This is a complex situation where you find yourself questioning, well, there is no good and evil. It's only circumstance. Miria chose the path she chose. But to answer that question fully, you need to actually speak with her and get her side of the story. Jono has only illuminated that idea, which I think is what's really at the core of this game. You are not fighting somebody completely evil. You're not facing a tyrant. You're facing a god who chose her own path in what she thought was right. And by doing that, you are burdened with expectations of releasing the brood and freeing them from that struggle. But said struggle isn't as easy as you'd think. But I'm going to save it here for now. Next time you see me, we'll be ready with Ray and Momo, and I will save. Because can you guess what we're doing next? I'm sure you could. But anyway, we'll do it next time.